a Triangle Madness match. Elimination style. Let's meet three guys in the black and teal, coming from that Queen City in North Carolina. He is the one and the only world-traveled Caleb Konley.
Yeah!
Wearing the black and gold jersey, the blue and red tights. He is representing the two-finger salute of the hierarchy. He is the Infinity Stone. This is the one and the only, the Kenway. And last and certainly not least, he is the #1 seed in this tournament. He is the 2023 Male Performer of the Year for Georgia Wrestling history. He is also a Match of the Year winner. Happened exactly in December right here in Monkey Ridge Brewing. This is the one and the only, the Frat Daddy. This is Bryce Cannon.
It's easy. I've done this before. All right? Say so. Do it.
Second match of the first round of the Jimmy Rave Cup is underway. Rob Weathers and Carmen Michael calling the action for you as the Kenway starts it off with Bryce Cannon. And Carmen, the Kenway said, I've been here before. This is easy. A part that the Kenway left out was the last time he met Bryce Cannon here in Southern States Pro. It was similar to this. It was a three-way dance, also elimination style. Instead of Caleb Konley, Duncan Avasia, and the Kenway was the last man pinned by that man, Bryce Cannon.
Kenway obviously looking for a much different outcome here in the first round of the Jimmy Rave Cup. Tag made, in comes Caleb Konley. I'm not sure if you caught that at the beginning, Rob, but it certainly seems like the Kenway and Caleb Konley may have themselves a little working agreement.
Well, and I don't know how well that agreement's going because you see another quick tag made as Caleb Konley just tagging the Kenway right back into this match. And I think another quick tag
I think that may
made.
have dissolved quickly.
If anything, it's frustrating Bryce Cannon on the outside. He's just waiting to fight somebody.
I mean, you're standing across the ring from the Male Performer of the Year here in the state of Georgia. In comes Caleb Konley, hip toss.
And as Bryce Cannon goes to work on Caleb Konley in the early moments of this match, we talked about that match of the year that happened right here in this building in December of 2023. And it was Bryce Cannon picking up the victory against the man that won the first Triangle Madness match of this tournament, Chip Day. And what could that mean if Bryce Cannon meets Chip Day later on in this tournament? We could have a whole nother match of the year of 2024 ready to go.
Well, that's if Bryce Cannon can advance past the first round, because right now he's got a massive target on his back entering this match as Male Performer of the Year, as winner of Match of the Year. And Kenway distracting the ref, causing a distraction for Caleb Konley to take advantage.
And to your point, Josh Wheeler mentioned this during the introductions, all of that and more. Bryce Cannon is also the #1 seed for this tournament. Bryce Cannon was given the option to face off against the wild card winner, and he deferred. He wanted to fight the two best seeds that he possibly could, taking on his former rival, the Kenway, and as you know just as well as I do, one of the best wrestlers pound for pound in the world, Caleb Konley.
Right now, it's hard enough facing off against a competitor like Caleb Konley, but when you are blinded, like he just was, cover made from Konley.
Had the hands on the chest, couldn't even get a one count on Bryce Cannon.
See, that's the risk when you go double polo, Rob.
You know, and Bryce Cannon knows that risk oh too well. Those polos usually get stripped off in those matches here at Southern States Pro. I'm sure that second one's going sometime soon. Big senton there from Konley. Konley now, once again, goes for the cover, but once again, not hooking the legs. Very cocky pins from Konley.
Konley very confident after driving all the weight down across the sternum of Bryce Cannon with that senton. In comes the Kenway representing the hierarchy.
And we talked about that earlier in the opening match of this tournament. Chip Day, the shadow czar of the hierarchy. And we have got now
Kenway.
the Kenway as he slides to the outside. Big right hand there to Cannon. The Kenway is the infinity stone of the hierarchy. Of course, the supreme leader, Murder One, is watching very closely in all of these matches, but specifically the ones in which his guys are in them. Because as we both know, not only did Jimmy Rave start Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment with Murder One, he also was a founding member of the hierarchy with his trainer, Murder One. Big back body drop there from Cannon as Konley gets tagged in once again.
As the point I was exactly looking to make is Caleb Konley underneath eats an uppercut from Bryce Cannon.
Bryce Cannon is still, even though he has the accolades to prove how good he is, still continues to wrestle with a chip on his shoulder. Good is never good enough for the frat daddy.
The number 1 seed entering the match with a lot to prove. Some would say it's his tournament to lose as Caleb Konley with the reversal. Frat daddy up and over.
Konley charging in, but gets checked there on the outside from Cannon as Cannon now makes his way to the top. Trying to cut off Konley, does it. But look at the Kenway. The Kenway making his way over to Cannon's corner, but the Kenway gets shoved off.
Again with the distraction. What is there to lose for Kenway? Kenway not the legal man.
Oh, but look at this. It looks like Bryce Cannon
Behind the ref's back again.
dealing with a knee injury. And look at the Kenway going to work on that potentially injured knee of Bryce Cannon.
Targeting the leg, and you can see the tape on the knee of Bryce Cannon as Caleb Konley pulls Bryce to the center of the ring, going for a figure 4 or a modified version.
If Konley
he's
could
got
get
a hook
cinched in, and there it is.
Oh, he's
this
got it.
could be it for Cannon. The number 1 seed could be going home early. Could Cannon be the first elimination? Will Cannon tap to the figure 4?
Cannon may have no choice here as he's looking to reverse the momentum. If he can get the leverage swapped over, all the pressure is applied to Caleb Konley.
He was halfway there, now turning it back to the other side. Cannon trying everything that he can to shift that weight.
Look at the anguish on the face of Bryce Cannon as Konley pulling the ropes for added leverage.
Referee Mike Fullylove forcing the break there, and now Bryce Cannon with a moment to breathe, a moment to stretch that leg. But will it be worth it as Caleb Konley makes his way back over to his wounded opponent?
I'm telling you, that target on the back of Bryce Cannon is growing the further this match goes on. Caleb Konley rocked but sweeps the leg. And now what does Caleb have in mind? Up and over.
Oh my God, corkscrew splash, goes for the pin, just the 2.
Just about eliminating the first seed here in the Jimmy Rave Cup is Caleb Konley.
And it is things like that, maneuvers like that, as the Kenway once again gets tagged in, is why Caleb Konley was invited to compete in this tournament to begin with.
And Caleb Konley's expression showed all the surprise that was on my face as Kenway targeting the injured knee of Bryce Cannon once again. Ever confident is Kenway as always as he makes his way back into the ring.
And confidence has been something that the Kenway has never been shy about, but things have only gotten worse since defeating Joe Black and officially being invited into the hierarchy to join his former foes as he goes to work on that leg of Bryce Cannon. That ankle lock very tight in there, got a cravat style hold, but
To say the toe hold he's got in, the way he's twisting the ankle, you're hyperextending the knee. Bryce Cannon, though, does his best to fight out. And again, trying to make his way to the ropes, but Kenway right after the left knee. Modified DDT. Again, looking to hyperextend.
Goes for the cover, all that weight across the chest of Cannon, but can only get the 2.
Good way to tear an ACL and MCL cover made again.
Cover. But Bryce Cannon has proven to be one of the most resilient athletes that Southern States Pro has ever seen. We saw the war with Chip Day just a couple of months ago. Caleb Konley once again tagged back into the match.
And notice Konley and Kenway doing an excellent job at isolating Bryce Cannon. Notice only tagging one another.
But Bryce Cannon able to turn the momentum, if only momentarily. As
Bryce Cannon may not even have a leg to stand on at the moment.
No
as he
kidding.
crumples.
Caleb Konley smelling the blood in the water. European uppercut to the knee. Right there on the back of that quadricep as you see Bryce Cannon clutching his leg.
The frustration is palpable as a stretch muffler applied.
You don't see this one get brought out too awful much these days, but Caleb Konley knows what it'll take as Cannon trying to get that foot on the ropes.
Foot is on the ropes.
He's touching the rope, but he can't stay there. Now he has the arm draped across the bottom rope. And you see Konley tagging back in Kenway.
If you notice, the referee looking down, looking for hand contact with the rope, completely missed the fact that the foot was on the rope. Look at this.
Do not envy
Kenway,
any of our officials.
Single leg Boston Crab.
Patented offense from the Kenway and using it to perfection against this injured leg of Bryce Cannon. Bryce Cannon, you can hear the visceral screams coming from the frat daddy. Bryce Cannon trying to find every bit of energy that he has conserved to get out of this hole. Tries to turn it over. Can he push Kenway off?
Bryce Cannon backed into a corner here. Can he fight out?
No, but Kenway stacks him up for the cover. Both legs. No, just two.
It's the problem with those high angle stacks. You're giving yourself extra weight down on the shoulders, but at the angle.
But look at this, Caleb Konley tagging himself into the match, and then Bryce Cannon just pushing the Kenway into Konley, and it looks like this alliance could be fading.
Looks like we got a breakdown in communication. As our referee trying to maintain some order here.
As well as you can. Like I said, I don't envy any of our officials in the Triangle Madness matchups. Tree of woe position. And Caleb Konley just washing the face of the Kenway with his boot.
Look, you can see the welts across the shoulders of the Kenway as Conway powerbomb!
Edge into the Kenway in the corner. Fireman's carry position.
Death Valley driver connects.
That's got to be it. Goes for the cover, lateral press.
Number one seed to be eliminated. No, Kenway breaks it up. Out of frustration, it's almost like Kenway wants to be the person to pin. Pin our number one seed here.
That is 100% what it is. Not only does he want to make the statement of pinning the guy that Southern States Pro has de facto said, we believe this person is going to win the whole thing. That is why he was given the number one seed. Not only that, but wants the revenge over that pinfall in the three-way dance several months ago. This is so personal for the Kenway and Cannon as Konley going to work on Cannon on the inside. Again, the midsection.
Again, elimination rules apply. Kenway certainly seems to want the bragging rights of being the one to put away Bryce Cannon.
And you saw Kenway getting the blind tag and throwing that arm of Caleb Konley directly into the face of Cannon.
Assisted back fist. Uranagi connects from Kenway and now looking to power bomb Bryce Cannon.
Oh my God!
Onto the helpless
body.
Stacks
him up, goes for the cover. Another 2 count. Cannon won't die.
All three competitors on the mat. Who's going to be the first to be on their feet? Looks like Bryce Cannon nursing that injured knee, crawling over to the ropes, looking for any leverage he can find.
Konley the first one to get to 1 foot, but Kenway makes it to both before both of his competitors. Kenway going right back to Cannon. Just dragging Cannon into the center of the ring, stacks him up for that cover again, and Cannon once again kicking out. Where in the world is Cannon finding this energy after being taken to the woodshed all match long?
That's exactly what we've come to expect from Bryce Cannon. Has the heart of a lion. No. Quick transition.
Over. Reverse Boston Crab, grabbing the arms. Look at this.
Into the pendulum swing.
Here comes Cannon. Disaster kick.
We went from Shades of Samoa Joe to the Hurricane real quick.
Lateral press onto the Kenway, but the Kenway gets that shoulder up.
Rob, you got to be asking yourself at this point, what is it going to take? We haven't even had a single elimination yet in this first round match.
This was the match that everybody has been talking about the most, that number one seed. There's so many questions. Can Bryce Cannon prove to be the same performer that won Male Performer of the Year not once but twice? Can he prove to be the same performer that won Match of the Year in this very ring?
He's certainly making a case for himself right now for 2024 as he trades back and forth with these forearms against the Kenway.
Caleb Konley trying to get back in the ring, catches Bryce Cannon, but Cannon with an elbow to Konley, and the kick sends Konley down to the floor.
Miscommunication again from Kenway and Konley. Backslide.
He's got him.
2, 3. We have our first elimination.
The first one. Kenway has been eliminated. Kenway is seeing deja vu right now. It has happened again. Cannon with another victory against the Kenway, and the Kenway going right back on the attack.
Kenway, the sore loser, is always now looking to take out the left knee even further, practically handing the victory on a silver platter over to Caleb Konley, now grabbing a steel chair from the crowd. Enough is enough! Enough is enough!
We've got to get some order. Referee Mike Foley-Love has to get the Kenway back to the locker room.
Mike's only one man. We're going to have to get some more help out here to get Kenway to the back.
Have I said before that I don't envy our officials in this tournament? Because I feel like I'm going to need to say it all night.
Not at all.
As the Kenway, as you said, Carmen.
We're down to Caleb Konley and Bryce Cannon.
As you said, just handing the victory over to Konley on a silver platter, but Cannon won't stay down.
Cannon, of course, Georgia Performer of the Year. Caleb Konley, however, has traveled the globe. He's been under the bright lights. He's been on your television screens. He has seen it all. Bryce Cannon certainly wants to make it there someday. His leg sweep now.
Hooks that leg, that injured leg, but Cannon's still able to kick out. You see specifically hooking that injured leg. That is that much harder that Cannon has to fight out of these pins.
But to my point, will that experience prove to be the X factor here for Caleb Konley?
So far, it's paying dividends for Konley.
And you see the compression sleeve placed under the knee pad of Bryce Cannon. Certainly suggests he was already favoring the knee coming into the match.
But Cannon ducks the clothesline. Kickstand from Cannon. Can Cannon do it? Hooks the leg. 1, 2, 3.
And he
Cannon
does.
advances.
And your winner, moving on to semifinals, the number 1 seed, Bryce Cannon.